You're listening to the podcast.
Oh my god, man, I'm so hungry. There really ain't nothing to eat in here, man. Yo, who the fuck put Electric Light Orchestra's Discovery in the freezer, man? What the fuck? Bro. Come on, man, this is a great album. Some might say it's a 10 out of 10. Might as well just pop it up. Alright, let's just, some Discovery by ELO. Oh wait, I forgot their blockers.
Dark Mode. Presented by FPP Broadcasting. This week's episode is number 7. ELO. Electric Light Orchestra, man. Is it an orchestra? Is it a band? I honestly, at this point, I still don't really know. I gotta be honest with you. I had to do research on this band like a little bit because if you had asked me before I made this top 20 list who is in ELO, I would have, dude. I don't know who I would have said. I don't know who I would have said at all because I don't know anyone in the band. Upon doing research, I found out that it is basically one guy. One guy writing all of this music. That's a Mr. Jeff Lynne. Mr. Jeff. But yeah, he's the main guy. He stayed through the whole thing, man. He just wrote all of the music apparently. Because I was like, I don't believe that. I was like, no way, right? And then you look up all the albums and you're like, yeah, composed entirely by, Jeff Lynne, and you're just like, yeah. You're like, no, dude. You're like, no. This man's a genius. I mean, obviously there's people like helping him and stuff, but like, still, like to be credited just like that, like that's. Like, I just, like, don't believe it. Like, that's what I'm trying to say is I'm like, there's no way this man wrote all the pieces to make all of this music. But, it kind of shows a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but, I mean, hey, I'm going to talk about 11 albums. Technically, it's 10.5 albums. One of them is only half a side. It was like a movie soundtrack. It's pretty good. But yeah, you can really tell, man, that it's all written by one guy, by the end, because you're like, oh, I heard this like a couple albums back. Like, I don't want to say like he's just like remaking his same stuff, but it's like, I don't know, man. Only one person can have like so much like new and fresh content in them. So I'm trying to say, I'm guessing, because ELO at a certain point just kind of like dies. It's just like you've already heard the best stuff, and that comes around like the early 80s, but I'm like getting ahead of myself. This band is amazing, and I'm only being hard on it because it's like it's number 7, right? And I think I want to say this right now. I think if Jeff Lynne had taken a little bit of more of a backseat and not composed every single one of their songs from scratch, I think this band could have been in the top 5, man. I don't know if like the band was just like okay with it, or if Jeff just like had like that much power, because like it's a little bit of like a revolving cast, and like there's like actual like like an orchestra, like people like playing, like there's like a symphony guy who's like credited, I think a conductor maybe, and it's just like, what? Like, I feel like they were trying to do so much with this band, and like it's just like to put that all on Jeff Lynne, man, it just doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, I'm like, bro. I'm like, come on, man. Like, I can't really say shit because like the dude made some of the best songs of all time. Albums, I'll talk about that, but some of the best songs of like all time, for being like progressive music, whether it be pop / rock, like it's just like he is a god. I would put him in the top 5 best composers of all time. I don't know. Like, I don't know where to really put him. I definitely put him in like the top 5 most sing-alongable. That doesn't make sense. You just want to sing along with Jeff, man. I don't know. You just want to sing along with Mr. Jeff. He's just so, he's got a nice voice, man. It's not like the greatest voice of all time, but it's just like you just like know the voice. And I think that's very important when talking about like all time like vocalist. Like if you can immediately be like, "Oh, I know that voice," you know, even if you hadn't heard like I don't know, a fucking song off their album. They have so many songs, man. That you like don't know because obviously you know the hits, but if you just like listen to an album, if someone put on an album and you didn't know who it was, but you knew ELO, you'd be like, "Oh, this is Jeff Lynne." Oh my gosh. This is like a train wreck already. I've already like kind of like fallen off. I guess I should just I don't want to go with the albums. There's so many. I have to run through them like kind of fast, I feel like, because like I could talk endlessly about these albums, man. They're so interesting. The choices that are made in these albums, man. I just like, I don't know, man. It doesn't like blow my mind or anything, but it's just, I just like don't know what they were really going for, you know? And like it's kind of hard to put myself like in the middle of the 70s and be like, "Oh yeah, this is what I think they should make." And it's just like, oh, obviously looking back on that now, it's like clear that like they should have, you know, not been so cheesy at times, but I mean, hey, most bands were pretty cheesy back then. It was pretty rare if you had a band that wasn't like going cheesy, you know. I mean, there was like, you know, classic rock and like disco. Like it's just like what did you expect? Throwing in classical music and like pop lyrics or pop like melodies, you know? It's just like, what did you expect from this band? Like it's they're incredible for what they became, to be honest. Like on paper I don't think it should really work. But, you know, damn it, they made it work, man. I don't know how. It's just genius. That's all I can say, man. We're going to start off with No Answer, or The Electric Light Orchestra, first album. You can honestly skip this one. If you really want to, you can definitely skip this album. You don't need to listen to it. There's some good parts to it, but like overall it's kind of just like, you know, it's one of those first albums where you're like, all right, I can sense the potential, but you're just like, you're just like, give it like a couple more years and you'll be like, great. I give it like a 7.5. You know, it's a pretty decent starter album. It's got its highlights. First Movement, Jumping Biz. That's a pretty good song. Look at Me Now, Mr. Radio. Like, you know, you're just like, yeah, it's very classical sounding. It was a good first album. I'll say that. Number 2, man, Electric Light Orchestra 2. Continuing with Electric Light Orchestra. Was that inspired by Led Zeppelin? Maybe they just put their name. I feel like a lot of bands did that. They just put their name on the album. They were just like, yeah, Electric Orchestra 2. You're like, yeah, that makes sense. Mama is a pretty good song. Roll Over Beethoven. I mean, I guess, man. I guess. I'd honestly put Kuyama above Roll Over Beethoven. I gotta be honest with you on that one. The whole first side of that's pretty good. I think that's from the Sun to the World in Old England Town. Wait, no. This album's good because it's extremely progressive, man. More progressive than the first one, and you can see that, and you're like, okay, you're like, now they're starting to like pick it up. Now they're starting to like know that like, hey, maybe we should do some progressive shit. Like, it sounds pretty good. I give it like an 8.75, maybe a 9 if I'm really feeling generous. To give it a 9 would be to like, I don't know. It would have to be like a little bit like better. just like a tiny bit, man, because like it's just some points you're just like, please, I just want to get past this, man. and just go on and listen to Koyama. Oh, number 3 though, man. On the third day, different titled album. We have one of my favorites, Showdown. Gonna be showdown, and it's raining all over the world. Ah, dude, such a good song, man. Rain. Mama Bell. That's pretty good too, honestly. Oh yeah, side 1. This is the one I wanted to talk about. I have it here in my notes. The side 1 was like really good, like, because side 2 has a Showdown and Mama Bell, I'm pretty sure, but like that first side, man, I was like, wow, I was like, yo, this shit like progressive as fuck, man. I was like, oh my god, it flowed into each song, man. It was just like, this is like what I've been waiting for, man. I would give this album a 9, a solid 9, even like a 9.25 maybe. They have a nice cover of In the Hall of the Mountain King. It's a pretty good song. Number 4, man. This is a good album. El Dorado. Honestly, another 9. Honestly. That's what I'm saying. Like there's like 6 albums in a row that I give like a 9 to. That is insane, because it's like either like hard 9s or soft 9s, which are like actually 9.5s, or like 8.75s, 8.25. It's just like the scale changes, and it like rearranges itself like when you listen to it at different times. If you listen to it back to back to back to back, it's just like 9 solid listen through, because you're just like, it's just good music, even though sometimes it's like cheesy. It's just amazing, like listening. Like you're like doing your ears a favor listening to this music. It's so like masterfully like crafted. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they were right to put Jeff Lynne at the front, but he shouldn't have been taking all of it. You know what I mean? Like, let someone make 2, because there's like 2 or 3 songs on each of these like first 4 albums that you're just like, you're like, come on, man, like you could have gotten rid of this. You could have put something else. You could honestly cut it from the album, or just put in like a, like, because they do that a couple times where it's like they have like a song that goes into another song, but it's not even like its own song. It's like less than like 2 minutes, and I'm like, God, that would have been so good for some of these parts, man. Can't get it out of my head, dude. That's like top 20 Electric Light or Orchestra, man. That song is so good. Can't get it out of my head. You just want to sing along, dude. He has such good choruses, man, and his voice and the effects he put on it. It's just like, oh my god, it just sounded so good, so good. Boy Blue is good. Nobody's Child and the whole El Dorado finale. It's a pretty good album, honestly. Not a bad listen to. Yeah, what did I say? Oh yeah, I gave it a 9. The flow in this album, man, God, so good. I love when songs go into another song. And then the next one, dude, Face the Music. This one's a solid 9 too. If you could just get rid of Poker, like this might be a 10. And maybe Down Hometown. Because that one's like borderline a country song. Dude, Fire on High like blew me away, man. I was like, what? And then into Waterfall, and then into Evil Woman, I was just like, oh my god. Strange Magic is amazing. And it goes into Down Hometown, but it's just like, I just don't like that song. One Summer Dream is good too. Yeah, honestly, this is like one of the most solid 9s. I don't think I'd rank it higher than a 9 though. Even though Evil Woman though, bro, like come on, that's like top 5. Is it top 5 ELO? I almost put it in top 5 ELO, I think. Evil Woman. All right, moving on to a new world record, man. This is the highest ranked 9 album. Like the last one, Face the Music, is like a solid 9, like the most solid concrete 9 of all time. This one honestly would almost be a 9.5, man. I really want to give it a 9.5. Like it is just so good. There's just like one song that makes it like not flow as good, and that's Rockaria, man. I'm sorry if you like this song. I'm sorry, man. You're wrong. Tightrope is good, man, but then into Telephone Line, you're just like, oh, you're like, bruh. Telephone Line is too real. But Living Thing, dude, that is top 5 ELO, man. That's such a good song. It's a living thing. Like, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, the orchestra behind it is just so good. The strings behind it, man. It's just like, it's like, at first, it doesn't sound that good in these, like, first couple albums. Like, it sounds really good. Like, I'm giving them, like, 9s and shit. But, like, dude, once they get to this album, you're like, it's like they're popping off right now, man. You're just like, yes, dude. You're like, yes, give me another album like this, and I know it can give it a 10, man. Honestly, 9.5, a new world record. So close to a 10. Just get rid of Rockaria, man. Maybe cut Douya a little bit short. I want it so fine. That song surprised the fuck out of me. So Fine, dude. Biggest comeback of all time. That chorus is banging. Anyways, I gotta keep moving on. Out of the Blue. Like, literally, like, I was like, dude, there's no way this is not gonna be a 10. Alright, I'm just gonna say it's got Mr. Blue Sky on it. It's got Sweet Talkin' Woman. It's got Turn to Stone. It's got Wild West Hero. Wild West Hero. Four top 10 ELO songs, right? And you're like, Dav, give it a 10. And I'm like, all right, hold on. I had to do big research on this one. Jeff Lynne wrote this in 3.5 weeks by himself in a cabin in the Alps. Listen, I just read that on like Wikipedia, but like, if that's true, I almost feel like I'd have to give this album a 10, because like, dude, there's no fucking way he wrote all this music in 3.5 weeks. Like, dude, I don't even remember. I can barely pump out one of these episodes in like 1 week, you know, in like 2 weeks, maybe even I've taken like a month break on some of these, just because like they're kind of rough on the soul. But to make an album, a 2 LP album, I don't know what I'm saying. It's 4 sides, right? And I ranked each of the 4 sides because they obviously are meant to like go together. And God dang it, Jeff. God dang it, Mr. Jeff. This is why you shouldn't write it all by yourself, man. All right, starting with side 1. Turn to Stone, It's Over, Sweet Talkin' Woman, Across the Border. A little bit cheesy on the 2 not top 10 ELO songs, but honestly, Turn to Stone and Sweet Talkin' Woman really save this side. It's Over, Across the Border, like, you know, they got their parts, but it's just like, it could have been better. It's a 9. It's a solid 9, I'm gonna say that. The side that comes after it, man. I think I put it on my essential ELO playlist. Let me see. No, I did. Yeah, I did. Night in the City, Starlight, Believe Me Now, Steppin' Out. And there's a song on there called Jungle. I just took that song off. You definitely don't need to hear that song. But this side sucks, man. This side is like, it's like he's like going like chaos mode in this one. He's just like, I'm just gonna like write whatever the fuck came in my, you know, just like nonstop. And it's just like, it's just not that good, man. Believe Me Now is the best song, and it's literally 1 minute and 20 seconds. It goes into Steppin' Out, and it's just like listen to this side just for the fuck of it, you know. But like, I promise you, if I end up buying this album, I will most likely always skip this side. I will 100% skip this side, man. You do not need to listen to that side, because the next side that comes is so damn good. Dude, it literally has its like own name. It's called Concerto for a Rainy Day. Like, it's like literally like he decided to name this fucking side. Isn't that hilarious? But yeah, they all go into each other, man. Ending with Mr. Blue Sky. and it's like about how like weather affects your like mood or something, which is pretty cool. Honestly, I give it a 9.5 because Summer and Lightning kind of fails a little bit for me. Big Wheels literally just sounds like Beach Boys, and it's so fucking funny. It's like it's so funny, man. It's so fucking funny. That's like one of my honorable mentions. I guess I should wait for that. Yeah, Mr. Blue Sky, man. It saves this whole side. I would give this side a 10 just to listen to Mr. Blue Sky. The way that Summer and Lightning like goes into it, and it like starts up, and you're like, oh yeah. You sing along to the whole thing, and then at the very end, I never knew this. At the very end, you know where it's like the and he's like singing. I always thought it was Mr. Blue Sky, you know, but it's actually please turn. It's like please turn me over, and he's like talking about switching the LP over. Like it's just like I like listen. I literally discovered that like 5 days ago, and I was like, oh my god. I was blown away. I was like, I cannot believe it. I can't believe that he put that on there. That's amazing. It like blew my mind after all these years of singing Mr. Blue Sky at the end and just being like, oh, that's not what he says. Oh man, I love it when that happens, when you discover the actual lyrics and you're like, oh, you're like intrigued. You're like, I actually like it more now that I know the real lyrics. It's when you don't like the real lyrics. It's when you're like, oh man, well fuck this song. Nah. Yeah, 9.5 to a 10 on that side, honestly. Next side, it's pretty good. The Whale's pretty good. Wait, what is this? Sweet is the Night, man. The backup singer in that one, Kelly Grucut. I don't know, I just read that on Wikipedia. Because he sings like one like part in that song, and you're like, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, if he would have just let people, if Jeff would have just let people get in and fucking make part of this music, like, dude, they could have been top 5 of all time, man. It is what it is, man. I mean, you know, I'll take top 7. I'll take 7. It's fine. Wild West Hero, though, man, that song is like weirdly good. Listening to it again, you're like, I don't know how this song was popular at all. I mean, back then it makes sense because it's like 77, but like, wish I was a Wild West hero. You're just like, no one today is listening to this fucking song. But back then, it probably got like a few million hits. Not gonna lie. It's a good like ballad to sing to, but like, would I call it like top 10 ELO? No, definitely top 20, maybe even like top 25. If I'm being really honest. Yeah, I give this side like an 8.5, and so I did my math right, and I give this album an 8. I know, doesn't that hurt, man? I can't do that to Mr. Blue Sky and Sweet Talking Woman and Turn to Stone. Honestly, you can essentially just cut all this album except for these 4 songs if you just really wanted to. I mean, you know, put Believe Me Now and whatever. Big Wheels if you really like Beach Boys. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna give it a 9. In my heart, it's a 9, but actually, it's just an 8 because there's so many songs on here that you can literally just throw away, and it's like I like can't give an album a 9 if there's like more than like if there's more than one song / 1.5 songs that you could just throw away. I'd be like, nah, it's not a 9. So technically, it really should be an 8, but it's a 9 in my heart. And so you're like, damn, really? Out of the Blue couldn't fucking do it, man? Couldn't do it for Dav? Well, let me tell you what. I got Discovery right here at a soft 10, man. Is such a good album. This is like a disco album, basically. Last Train to London, man, that's like top 3 ELO. That is such a good song. Don't Bring Me Down, dude. Obviously top 5, maybe even top 10. I don't know. Diary of Horace Wimp, Confusion, Shine a Little Love. So good. Even On the Run is good, even though it's a little cheesy. Same thing with Wishing and like Need Her Love. Like those are pretty good. Really, if you get rid of Midnight Blue, it's a solid 10. Midnight Blue is the only one that I would really honestly truly throw away. But when you listen to the whole album, it just kind of flows. It's just a really good, like, you put it on while your friends are just playing Catan, you know? It's a great album to listen through. Great album to like do some coke to. Just kidding. Because this is 80? Oh, 1979, dude. Yeah, this is like, I don't want to say like ahead of the time, but it's like leading the time for like disco slash like progressive music. It's so good. It's so good, man. Um, I'm on the run again. Wow. I'm on the run again. Last train to London. Just leaving now. But I really want to know. It's just you can't not sing along to this whole album, man. You shot a little love of my life. Confusion. Horace. Like, dude, like all these songs are so good. This is the best ELO album. It really would be Out of the Blue if you got rid of side 2, but it's like, this is the best one. A New World Record might have a good like fight against this one, but nah. I would take Discovery over all these albums, man. This one is so good. The flow is so good, even though the songs don't all go into each other. And honestly, that's like the end of ELO, man. They do like half of a side for this movie called Xanadu. They write Xanadu, which is an incredible song, and All Over the World, which is also incredible. I'm Alive, The Fall, Don't Walk Away. You know, those are all good songs too. I'm pretty sure they were probably good in the movie. I'm gonna have to check that movie out because it's kind of cool that ELO. They literally got ELO to just do the soundtrack for half of it. It's so cool. That's like honestly, that's probably what the pinnacle of like Jeff Lynne wanted, man. He probably saw movies and he was like, yeah, I want to make songs for fucking movies. And I'm like, dude, I literally feel that so damn hard. like that's why I think I love this band so much, because they literally just sound like, I don't want to say like musical like movies, but they sound like soundtracks that should just be in movies. Like it's like I know what he's going for, man. He's going for soundtrack. And it's so good because when you actually look at all these lyrics, they're kind of cheesy sometimes, and you're like, all right, like you could be saying like other stuff, but like he gets to the point, and he's hard to understand, to be honest. Most of the time I don't know what Jeff is saying. I literally have to look at the lyrics while I'm like listening to the song, because you will miss so much stuff. There's so many lyrics he's just throwing at you, man, and then you're just like, oh my god. You're like, Jeff. You're like, Jeff, please let somebody else take over. Oh man. All over the world, everybody got the word. Xanadu, dun 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 dun. Xanadu. Now we are here in Xanadu. 10 out of 10 songs, man. Those two. Honestly, I give that. I give that's the half side of the Xanadu soundtrack like a 9.5, maybe a 10 if I want to see the movie. Olivia Newton-John. Honestly, I have no fucking clue who this is, but she's also singing The Other Side and also sings Xanadu with him, which is pretty cool. Yeah, and then they go to the 80s, man, because yeah, that was 1980 when they did that movie soundtrack. 1981, they released another album called Time, and like all their albums are concept albums, but I don't really know what they're all about, really. But this one is about a man being transported from the 80s to the 2095, and you're like, who came up with this, man? And it is just, dude, this is truly the fall of ELO. This is the last album that you need to listen to, man. And you can hear it. I think the 80s took over Jeff a little bit too much. Either he was too intimidated by all of the shit that was happening, or he just ran out of energy. And by energy, I mean like creativity. And I'm like, dude, that is so relatable. Especially after 10 years of pumping out like solid 9 albums. Like, it's just like, You can't keep that up, man. I'm sorry. Your body's gonna fail. Your mind's gonna fail. Life's gonna get in the way. Like, dude, your dreams will get crushed eventually. But like, he had plenty of money to keep going. But it's just like, even all the money in the world can't fix like creativity, man. You will just eventually run out of ideas. You cannot. He, dude, they released an album like every like 1.5 years, man. Like, it was insane, bro. With different people too. That's also I don't understand, man. How the hell did Jeff Lynne work with all these different people? Like, I can barely work with like the crew I have at my job. That's just me though. Jeff Lynne was probably like one of the most charismatic motherfuckers of all time, bro. Like, like I haven't seen him live, obviously, and I haven't seen like any videos of him live, but like, I bet this man was pumping, man. No way he wasn't on all kinds of drugs. No way, man. You cannot write all this music and not be fucked up. Or he's just one of the greatest of all time, and I'm right on that take. Time though, man, I'm getting distracted, dude. It's like what happened, man. I kind of listened to like all these albums at once, and like they all kind of like blended together, and eventually I was just like, once I got the Secret Messages, I was like, I can't keep listening to this. I was like, it's not worth it anymore. Hold On Tight though, man. That's really all you need to listen to this album to get to, man. Twilight's good too. Yours truly 2095 is good too. What else did I put? What was good on here? From the End of the World. 21st Century Man is like good. Rain is Falling. Another Heartbreaks. That one's pretty good. Ticket to the Moon's pretty cheesy, I'm not gonna lie. When I got to that one, I was like, oh yeah, this is the fall. Because Prologue to Twilight to Yours Truly to Ticket to the Moon, I was like, okay. And then Ticket to the Moon, I was like, all right. I was like, never mind. This album flows really well until you get to Hold On Tight, which makes no sense. It's like, why would you not fucking just make Hold On Tight like flow perfectly from 21st Century Man? Incredible song. Honestly, top 3 ELO is Hold On Tight. I know, it's crazy. I give this album like, it's funny because I want to give it an 8 as well, but it's like, I feel like it's a 9 just for how well it flows, you know? Like, just because like songs flow into one another doesn't mean they're like perfect, but it just sounds good. You put this on and you're like, I don't want to stop listening to this. Like, it's just, you just like it. It's just good music. I don't know how to put it. Hold on tight to your dreams. Accroche-toi à ton rêve. That was horrible. But yeah, he freaking goes French in this song and you're like, oh my god. When I heard that the first time, I lost my mind. I was like, that's so cool. Because it sounds so good. À ton rêve. His voice, man. So jealous. Yeah, then I got like halfway through Secret Messages, the 1983 album, and I was just like, you know what? I don't need this. The best song on the album is like Rock and Roll is King, and like, dude, that song's not even good. Like, I honestly wouldn't put it even in like the top 40 of ELO songs. Oh man, how fucking long did I take for that part? Oh my god, dude, I'm sorry. If you're listening to this, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna strictly like go. Like, we're just gonna like keep pushing on, man. There's just really nothing I could do. Yeah, holy shit, man. I did not realize that took like almost 30 minutes to get through. Oh my god. Like, see, that's what I'm saying is like, dude, I could have literally talked about those albums for so much longer too. Like, I was booking it, bro. Because they're so good. They're such. I can just keep talking about them. Fuck me. All right, let's go to the next point. I discovered this band way back. Obviously, parents listening to them. Gulf 104. You know the standard drill. Classic rock. I'm gonna hear it there. But I didn't really discover this band until my junior year of college, when I checked out the All Over the World : The Very Best of ELO compilation album. This is what got me into ELO. This is what you need to listen to. You really need to listen to this album first, because if you listen to all this album and you're like, if you would give it over like a 9, like rating, like listening to, like, yeah, go listen to all the albums I just listed off, because you'll be like, it's incredible. They blew my mind when I listened to all their albums. I was like, I cannot believe that they're producing, that Jeff Lynne is writing all of this incredible music. Like, it's just not fair. Is what I'm trying to really get at. Like, I'm like, how the hell, Jeff? But yeah, listen to that best of album, man. That is primo ELO all over the world, man. I never really wrote down all my rankings for the ELO songs, but obviously Mr. Blue Sky's at number 1 for reasons untold yet. Hold On Tight's probably in the top 3, along with Living Thing. Turn to Stone's definitely up there too. Evil Woman's in top 10. Showdown's in top 10. Telephone Lines in top 10. Wow West Hero, it's like top 20, man. I don't know. It's really hard to do a top list of ELO songs because they kind of like shift and change, but I know the top 3: Mr. Blue Sky, Hold On Tight, and Living Thing. Perfect songs, man. Maybe Xanadu too, because Xanadu is just such a good song. All Over the World is definitely like top 10. I just keep repeating the same stuff. I'm so sorry. But yeah, they came at a weird time, man. Junior year in college, after I had discovered what I thought was like the number 1 band of like all time, once again. That really, like, college was like the renaissance of music, because that's when I got Spotify and like started listening to like a bunch of different shit, and I was like, oh, there's more than just like the stuff I've been listening to and the stuff that gets shown to me by my friends. Like, I can discover my own music, because there's so much music out there. There's so much music. Like, honestly, I truly think right now that there is an endless amount of music out there. I don't think I'm gonna be able to listen to it all. Like, obviously I could if I started right now and never stopped. Does that mean endless? I think it does. Until I died. And even then, music would just keep coming. That's what I'm saying. Like, there is going to be an endless amount of music in our lifetimes. In life. In existence. And it's insane, man. These bands that talk about reality, it's just like, you're like, what do you know? How do you know me? I look at some of these lyrics by Jeff, and I'm just like, do you know me, Jeff? You're writing this song in 1970, and I'm relating it to my life in 2022. Like, it's like, like, how, man? It just doesn't make sense. It's timeless to me when you can take a song like that and relate it to any point in your life. You're just like, it's mind blowing, which is the main point I want to get to about Jeff and Electric Light Orchestra. Is just like, I just don't believe it, man. I just don't believe it that he did it all by himself. I'm like, how, man? Who did you have? What support did you have? Was it just sheer willpower? I don't know, man. Honestly, I'd probably rank this band like a little bit higher, if not for the other 6 bands that are ahead of it. This could be a number 1 band of all time for someone, because they're just that fucking good. They're just, yeah, it's just some of the best music, man. It doesn't go too hard. It doesn't go too soft sometimes. It's just like, it's just perfect flow through these albums, man. We're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.5, 9 and 9s. Either be hard or soft 9s. Like, dude. It's insane. That's such a good run. That's such an insane run, man. That's so many albums that are so perfect. Oh. Maybe I need to lock myself in a cabin in the Alps and just write my book. That'd be kind of funny. Just like escape it all, you know? Just focus on like writing my book, because I feel like that's what, you know, happened to Jeff, or what Jeff had to do. Jeff had to like close off everything around him to like focus on one certain thing, and it's like, I don't really want to do that, but it's getting to the point where it's like, maybe I should. Because it's like, dude, it is so hard to concentrate sometimes, man. Even when I'm like dedicating time, like, dude, I look at my phone, I look at Luna, I look at the trash can, man. I look at my desk, I look at my Blu-rays and my games. I look at my Magic cards, man. I look at my desk and all the stickers that are on it. I look at Catan and I want to go look up some Catan strategies, you know? It's just like, I don't know. There's too many things now, man. That's why I think I was born in the wrong generation. Listen, all right. I know. I'm not one of those guys, I swear. I used to be, but like, there was just no distractions back then, you know? There was just other, like, you know, other shit that was going on, but like, dude, the phone that is sitting next to me, I honestly, I hate it, man. I hate it now. I want to get rid of it so bad, but it's like, I can't. That's like how I function in normal life until I, you know, pretty much write this book. Then I could probably close off everyone and be like, yeah, that's right. I'm focusing on being an author. I'm truly just like rambling now, so if you're listening at this point, like, I don't really know what to say except thank you. All right, on to honorable mentions. Yeah, you already know this is part of the show. These bands are probably in the top 100. Didn't make it to the top 20 because they were beat out by ELO. We got David Bowie. Listen, I love me some David Bowie. I honestly put him in like probably the top 30 of all time. Maybe top 40 if I'm being honest. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of like people who just like go by their names, you know? Like yeah, ELO is Jeff Lynne, but like Jeff Lynne isn't ELO. Later he calls it Jeff Lynne's ELO, and like that's when I like know like, don't listen to this shit. ELO is like what you gotta listen to. Jeff Lynne's ELO? No. Come on, man. I know you think you're better than everyone because you kind of are, but it's like, come on. It's like if Harry Styles like went behind a band. I think I would like him more, you know? I'm just not really a big fan of like solo like artists. Like rappers are different, and like, you know, like actual like singers are like different. But like when you try to have like music, I guess, you know, it's like it's different because then the focus isn't on the band, which I like more. I like focusing on the music than just like the singer itself. I don't know. That's just my personal take. That's why I was never really a big fan of like, you know, mainstream music, is because it's just like singers that are just like going by their names, and you're just like, you know, like I guess, like, you know, I guess. Listen, I'm a hipster. Just look at my next honorable mention. It's Vampire Weekend. Isn't that hilarious? Yeah, no, number 16 gets an honorable mention, man. You know that the strings in their albums are freaking influenced right from ELO. Like 110%, man. I can hear it. I hear Whitney in a couple of songs too. I know I honorable mentioned that with Vampire Weekend. I have that like sandwiched in right here, but I kind of have to. Jefferson Starship. That's just another like band that kind of like sounds like ELO. They're just better Beach Boys though. I gotta be honest with you. Like ELO is just the best version of the Beach Boys that they could ever have a dream to be. because the Beach Boys were just like, that cheesy surf rock, and then like later on they become a little bit more progressive and a little bit more, I don't want to say dark, but compared to like what they were writing, it is like a little bit like darker, I guess, Surf's up, but a tidal wave. Like, it's just like, that's dark as fuck. Yeah, honestly, Beach Boys are top 50 of all time. Fuck on me, bro. I don't care. Get out of here, bro. You don't know music. Beach Boys influenced so much shit, man. It's just it just sucks that they're like MAGA and like, they're just like basically like country now. It's so sad. But yeah, that's ELO, man, in like a huge nutshell. Like, I really tried to fly through them. I was pumping through these albums, man. I honestly don't even know like how I did it. I've got yeah, you're not gonna guess what I'm drinking this week. I'm just gonna tell you. It's one of these Alanis, dude. Like, usually, like, Red Bull like gets me pretty going. Bangs can be like crazy for like work, or if you like are really tired and you need like incredible amounts of energy. Like, yeah, go for Bang. Right in the middle though, dude, these Alanis, they have a pretty good amount of caffeine, 200. It's a good amount of energy drink. They're vegan. uh but yeah, these ones keep me focused. They're also zero sugar and they taste pretty good, which is good, man, because I take too much sugar in all the time. I want to like cut it out completely, but like there's no fucking way I could do that right now. Wait, come back to me in like 10-15 years when I'm like an established author, and then I'll be like, yeah, my diet's a bowl of strawberries and sugar-free oats in the morning, and I have a avocado toast off a non-enriched bread, and for dinner I eat bull testicles, and I look like the Hulk. Oh my god. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. The music stopped. I guess it's just my voice now. Yeah, that's it, man. Uh, Come back next time for the next band. Um, I guess I'll tell it to you now. I don't want to say bye to ELO, man. I've just been listening to them for the past like 2 weeks, like nonstop. They're just so good. It's hard though, man, because you want to listen to all their albums. Like, their albums are listen throughs. Like, you don't just like pick, like, listen to the greatest hits album. Obviously, those are like taking the picks or taking the big hits and putting them in one album. But listen to all the albums, man. They're so good. They flow so well. And obviously, you have to like be listening to it. You cannot be like doing homework while listening to it, because then you'll miss shit. It's just like a perfect like relaxing type of music, man. That's what you should really take away from this. It's just like ELO is just like that good music, man. So good. I'm turning the page. Bye, ELO. Oh, it's so sad. Now it's time for number 6 of all time, man. Now it's kind of crazy because number 4, which could be number 3 on this list, man. It's so crazy, like looking at all these bands and putting that one that high up there, especially past like number 6. Like, I don't know, man. You might call me crazy for this one, and listen, that's understandable. That's honestly understandable. This is an insane take, I know. But at number 6, greatest top 20 bands of all time, coming in at number I literally can't even finish this. Coming in at number 6, we have Pink Floyd.